Men, the biggest dating app mistake isn't matching with the wrong women. It's not recognizing red flag messages before you invest time, energy, and emotion into conversations with women who have problematic intentions, questionable character, or patterns that predict relationship disaster. Before we dive in, hit subscribe, smash that like and hype button, and drop a comment sharing which red flag messages you've received that you initially ignored but later realized accurately predicted the problems you encountered. Message 1. She immediately asks about your income or lifestyle. When her first few messages focus on what you do for work, with follow-up questions about income, your car, where you live, whether you travel frequently, or other lifestyle markers that reveal your financial status, she's not making conversation. She's screening you for resource provision capability. This immediate financial vetting reveals she's primarily interested in what you can provide, not who you are. What this reveals she views potential partners through transactional lens, where your value is measured by financial resources and lifestyle provision. Women genuinely interested in connection ask about your interests, values, personality, and compatibility. Women interested in resources lead with questions about income, career prestige, possessions, and lifestyle markers. She's qualifying you as potential provider, not getting to know you as person. Watch how she responds to your answers. If you mention a prestigious career or comfortable lifestyle and her interest level noticeably increases, or if you mention modest circumstances and she becomes less engaged or stops responding, her interest is directly correlated with perceived resources. This conditional interest based on financial status reveals she's shopping for lifestyle upgrade, not compatible partner. Why you should be careful: someone who leads with financial screening is telling you she values resources over character. If you do meet, you'll be constantly evaluated based on what you spend, provide, and enable for her lifestyle. Your worth in her eyes will fluctuate with your financial status. When someone better resourced comes along, or when your financial situation changes, her interest will disappear because it was never about you as a person. Message 2. She talks negatively about her ex. In early messages, when she brings up her ex-partner within the first few messages and discusses him negatively, mentioning how he wronged her, describing the relationship problems, or explaining why he was inadequate, she's not giving you context. She's revealing she's not over that relationship, processes relationships through victim lens, or uses new connections to validate that she was right and he was wrong. What this reveals? This reveals she hasn't emotionally processed her past relationship and is using you as audience for her grievances or as rebound validation. Women who have genuinely moved on don't bring up exes in early conversations with new people because they're focused on getting to know you, not processing their past. Early ex mentions reveal someone still emotionally entangled with previous relationships. Notice whether she frames stories as learning experiences or blame narratives. If she acknowledges what she learned or her role in problems, that's healthier. If every relationship story positions her as innocent victim and him as villain, she lacks accountability. Which means you'll eventually be the villain in her next victim story when your relationship ends. Why you should be careful: someone who can't stop talking about their ex is still emotionally invested in that relationship. You're either a rebound, helping her process unresolved feelings, or you're being positioned as the better man who validates that she was right about her ex being wrong. Either way, you're serving a purpose in her emotional processing rather than being seen as a unique person she's genuinely interested in. Message 3. She sends one-word responses but expects your engagement. When her messages are consistently brief, one-word answers, minimal responses, no follow-up questions, while she expects you to continue carrying the conversation with questions and engagement, she's demonstrating low investment while expecting high effort from you. This imbalanced communication reveals how she views the dynamic. What this reveals? This reveals she sees herself as the prize who deserves pursuit while providing nothing in return. Women who are genuinely interested in building connection put effort into conversations. They ask questions, share about themselves, and reciprocate engagement. Women who give minimal responses while expecting you to keep trying are testing whether you'll work hard for scraps of attention, establishing early that your role is pursuer and her role is evaluator. Watch whether this pattern persists or improves. If you match her low energy and she complains or accuses you of not being interested, she's revealing the double standard. She can put in minimal effort, but expects maximum effort from you. If the conversation dies when you stop carrying it entirely, she was never invested enough to contribute. Why you should be careful. Communication patterns established early predict relationship dynamics. If she won't put effort into getting to know you during the phase where people typically show their best, she definitely won't put effort in when comfortable. You'll spend the relationship doing all the work while she provides minimal reciprocal investment. This pattern predicts exhausting dynamic where you're always pursuing someone who never fully engages. Message 4. She's vague about her availability or current situation. When you try to learn basic information about her life, whether she's working or in school, where she lives generally, what her typical schedule looks like, and her answers are consistently vague, deflective, or lacking concrete details that most people readily share, she's deliberately withholding information about her current circumstances that would be relevant to dating her. What this reveals? This reveals she's hiding something about her current situation, possibly another relationship, complicated living circumstances, employment issues, or other factors she knows would affect your interest in dating her. Women who are genuinely available and have uncomplicated situations readily share basic life information because it's normal getting to know you conversation. Systematic vagueness reveals information management. Notice which topics specifically trigger vagueness. If she's clear about her interests, but vague about her living situation, she might be living with a partner. If she's vague about her schedule, and when she's available, she might be managing around another relationship. The specific areas of vagueness tell you what she's hiding. Why you should be careful. Someone who can't or won't share basic information about their current life is hiding circumstances that would change your decision to pursue them. The vagueness itself is deception. She's making you form interest based on incomplete information while withholding the facts that matter. When the truth eventually comes out, you'll discover you invested in someone under false pretenses because she deliberately hid relevant information from the start. Message 5. She sends heavily filtered or inconsistent photos. When the photos she sends in messages don't match her profile photos, show heavy filtering or editing that obscures her actual appearance, include only extreme angles or partial shots, or seem inconsistent in ways that suggest she doesn't look like any single version consistently, she's managing your perception of her appearance rather than showing you authentic representation. What this reveals? This reveals she's comfortable with deception if it serves her interests. Women who heavily filter and manipulate their appearance in photos are showing you they prioritize getting your interest over being honest about what you're actually going to meet. The deception about appearance reveals character willing to mislead if it benefits them. If she'll lie about how she looks, she'll lie about other things. Watch how she responds if you suggest video chat or meeting in person. If she makes excuses to avoid video calls, wants to message extensively before meeting, or creates reasons to delay meeting face-to-face, she knows the meeting will reveal discrepancies between her photos and reality. The avoidance of visual verification confirms she's been deceptive. Why you should be careful. Photo deception reveals poor character and willingness to mislead. Beyond the disappointment of meeting someone who looks dramatically different from their photos, the deception itself is red flag about integrity. Someone who starts the connection with visual lies is demonstrating they're comfortable deceiving you from the beginning. This character trait extends beyond photos. If she'll lie about appearance, she'll lie about other aspects of her life and character. Message 6. She makes sexual conversation too quickly. When she steers conversation toward intimate topics very early, making suggestive comments, asking about your preferences, or discussing physical topics before you've established any actual connection or rapport, she's either not serious about dating and just seeking attention, or she's using physical appeal as primary tool because she lacks substance to offer in other areas. What this reveals? This reveals she's either not actually interested in meeting and is using you for validation and attention through risque conversation, or she's learned that leading with physical availability is how she keeps men interested because she can't build genuine connection through personality, values, or compatibility. Either way, you're not dealing with someone interested in building real relationship. Notice whether the physical conversation seems genuine or performative. If it feels like she's following a script or saying things designed to keep you engaged, rather than expressing genuine attraction to you specifically, she's using it as a tool to maintain your attention. Physical conversation should emerge from actual chemistry and connection, not as substitute for building real rapport. Why you should be careful. Women who lead with physical conversation are usually either seeking validation without intention to meet, or they know physical appeal is their main asset and use it because they lack depth. If she's seeking validation, you're wasting time on someone who will never actually meet you. If she's leading with physical because that's all she offers, you'll discover there's no compatibility, connection, or substance once physical novelty wears off. Either scenario predicts disappointment.